Hey everybody, Taylor Lyles with the Greenville Home Builders Association, and this is the Think Big podcast. Good morning and welcome to the Think Big podcast. I am your host, Taylor Lyles, the Chief Executive Officer of the Home Builders Association of Greenville, and we are beyond excited to have the one and only Patti Tuffin with us today. Patti is one of our board members. She's also the BIC in charge at Keller Williams Greenville. Patti, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well,
we don't want your dating profile. We just want to know about you.
Okay, I'm out.
How long you've been in the market. Tell me that.
Okay, so this is my 21st year of selling real estate. I've been with Keller Williams Greenville Upstate for 17 years, maybe 18. I have been in the broker in charge position for about 7 months right now. Came a little earlier than I had expected. I also have a team of 7 agents that work directly with me. And love my job. Moved here 21 years ago. The realtor that sold me my home said, you need a job. You need to go get your real estate license and sell real estate. And I love it 21 years later.
That's incredible. What is kind of that driving passion behind you for selling real estate?
Really just helping people. I mean, when I bought and sold my own homes with no real estate background, did not realize how much information really was never explained to me. So when I decided to get into real estate and I bought my house here, my realtor at the time really held my hand through everything. I learned more in my own personal transaction with her than I ever did in buying and selling homes prior. So I've just kind of paid that forward.
That's fantastic. So you've done a little bit of coaching, you've built your team, you're the BIC now. Tell me about the coaching stuff. Like, what's the passion there?
Oh, gosh, I love that, too. Well, I feel like as realtors, we're all in this together. So I've worked with some really fantastic agents in 21 years. And then some maybe not so much. So I really felt that if I could, any new agent that came into our office, that if I could really sit down and just help them, both one-on-one and in groups, they didn't get lost in the shuffle. I was confident that I was teaching them because I may work with them.
Yep.
And I want them to know as much information as I know. So that was kind of how it started, and then it's just kind of evolved.
I love it. And then, so from your approach, your bread and butter is more resale or new construction?
Oh, goodness. Give me new construction all day long. If I could solely just sell new construction, I would. I love new construction. Back in 2012, I think it was, I had sold more new construction for one of our builders that are actually members of the HBA than any other agent in the Upstate. And it wasn't on purpose. It was just the way it was. We would go look at resales, and a resale would be higher priced than a new construction home. And I would say to my buyers, both great homes, except you're going to buy this used car instead of getting this great warranty for as long as you own the house kind of thing. So why would we not?
Yep.
So that's kind of still how it is in this market today.
Well, I think in this market right now, with your resales being so low, I think there's 2.5 months of inventory.
If that, I think right now with resales.
And resales, and you've got new construction homes popping up left and right.
And the interest rates. So what they're able to offer, new construction can offer a buyer all kinds of things, and their buying power increases more so than with a resale.
Speaking of interest rates, I saw an advertisement the other day, and it was 4.75 on a 30-year through a new construction builder.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's hundreds of dollars of savings a month for the consumer.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, new construction is the way to go.
I feel like it has been for 21 years. When I moved here, I built a house just because we still had limited inventory 21 years ago on resales, but what I could get, and I could put my own stuff into it.
Yep.
So I love it, still to this day.
That's fantastic. When you're looking at a client, how does that experience start? So a lead comes to you. What is that process like for if somebody's listening and they're looking for a realtor? How does that process start?
I think one of the steps a lot of realtors miss when working with a buyer is sitting down and having a real buyer's consultation. A buyer can tell you all day long, here are my must-haves. It must have brick. It must have fenced-in yard, et cetera, et cetera. So you are able to show a buyer, yep, you can have all of this, except when they walk into a home, they say, oh, you know what? I don't like the way that this kitchen is. There's too many walls here. Oh, and then, so you want an open floor plan. No, I don't want an open floor plan. Oh, but you do, because that's what you're telling me. So I feel like if you can spend a good hour with a buyer, doing a real buyer's consultation, getting everything that they want, but really focus on the things that they don't want. And I also feel that once you get with the buyer, I feel like what I love to do is test myself. If I show a buyer 3 houses, in my mind, figure out what house they're going to buy, even without them knowing it yet.
Yep.
And that's really comes with the buyer's consultation. So it's really listening to everything that they're saying that they want, but really focusing on the things they're saying that they don't want.
That's great.
And my favorite is when they say, I don't want new construction. And I'm like, great, that's fine, we don't need it. Tell me why. And it always comes back down to the same thing. They all look cookie cutter. They all don't have trees. And guess what? You can plant trees. Eventually, everything gets established. All of these resale neighborhoods at one point in time did not look the way they did.
They were all masqueraded. They were all clear cut.
That's right. So that's one of my favorite things.
I think my thing about new construction is you can actually make the yard what you want. So like every home I've had has been new construction.
Yep.
And I've been able to go in and put the beds in myself, put the plants in myself, do a porch addition, do this. Oh, I want a fig tree over here. I want this tree over here. And I get to play around with it.
Yep.
It's kind of...
You're making it your own.
Exactly. You're making it your haven of rest.
That's right. And I think, too, the other thing about new construction, and now that everything's settled, we're able to go back into our design centers. Hey, you don't like the dark cabinets? Great. Let's build the exact same home, but go ahead and put white cabinets in it.
Yep.
You have some real flexibility, and that's another great thing about new construction.
Yep. So new construction can range. We get new construction with some of our builders. Our past board president's got some stuff in the 220s.
Yes.
But then you've got this brand new builder, Copper Builders, coming into the market. They're going to start a new construction program at I think it's 1.2, 1.3.
It's crazy. Well, and that's the other thing too I'm really excited about for our area is I feel like new construction is going to run the board as far as pricing goes. Someone who's really looking, we deal with a lot of custom builders as well. And that is also one of my favorite things, to see this thing come to fruition from being on a piece of paper on raw land to have the final product is so exciting for me, and it's not my house.
Yep.
So I love being able to offer different types of new construction to any consumer.
Now, that's got to make your personal house a little difficult. And you making decisions, because you're seeing all of these different selections and you're sitting there going, oh, that would be pretty, but oh, that would be pretty,
Yes.
but oh, that would be pretty. So I'm sure that makes your life, I mean, it's a first world problem.
It is.
Completely.
Really
but
my husband's life. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Every day I have a different idea, but it's good because I also see a lot of things that don't work.
Yep.
So going into something going at the beginning, hey, I would love to implement this into my home. And then 6 months later, my buyer's saying, let me tell you one thing I've realized. I would have changed this because of this. And I'm like, I never thought about that.
you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, good. And I tell people too, even if you're building, it doesn't matter if your budget's $100 million. Once you build your home, there's still things you're going to get in there and say, oh, I wish I would have changed this, or I wish I would have done that. There's no perfection in any of the stuff that we do.
Yep.
So
As long as it's airtight, it doesn't leak.
That's right.
And the roof's
And it
good,
doesn't fall down.
And it doesn't fall down.
That's
well,
right.
We had, knock on wood, we hadn't had that in the Upstate. We've seen all the videos of these massive windstorms coming through and the house is in framing and it just buckles.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh no, I'd never buy a new construction house. It's like, well, that resale was new construction, like you said at one point.
Agreed. Agreed. So yeah, I sometimes I don't like the bad juju that the new construction gets because there's really, really a lot of pros to new construction,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Well, I think timeline is also a massive pro.
Yes.
I mean, luxury custom, you're 1 to 2 years.
Right.
But your new construction, your production builders,
Yeah.
I mean, they're as short as, you got Meritage doing a 30-day close guarantee to
That's right. Well, even
a
D.R.
fresh
Horton.
build.
Well, even D.R. Horton is at maximum 4 months, start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that. So, yeah. And we have a lot of issues with helping our clients find short-term rentals, which we just call in all our resources to make sure no one's homeless. But at the end, most everyone is tickled pink, and that is our number one focus on our job.
I mean, that's the beautiful part about your job. You're creating that American dream.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's home ownership.
It is.
It's their largest asset that most people will ever purchase or acquire in their entire life.
Well, and one of the statistics that we had talked about was the average age of a first-time home buyer. So when I got into real estate, the average age was 26, 27, somewhere around there. It's now 38 or 39, which blew my mind. So my children, my girls, one is a homeowner at 24. That is my goal for them. Be in a home, own a home by the time you're 26, 27, right there in that window. The amount of money they will save by owning their own home and not putting it into rent is unbelievable.
Builders, trades, realtors. If you're looking for a flooring partner you can trust, look no further. I'm here to tell you about All About Flooring. All About Flooring is a family-owned business with 3 generations of owners that know the flooring business inside and out. They work in residential and commercial projects for both new builds and remodels by providing high-quality customer service and installation for carpet, area rugs, hardwoods, laminate, luxury vinyl, and more. Y'all, they even provide professional carpet, tile, and upholstery cleaning. At All About Flooring, they're more than just a flooring provider. They're your partner in delivering top-tier results that your customers will absolutely love. You can find their website linked in the show notes or visit their 9,000 square foot showroom at 2111 North Pleasantburg Drive. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, I think the market's kind of driven that slightly. You know, that single family detached first time home buyer home isn't really attainable anymore.
No, it's tough.
I mean, your entry level, I mean, mind you, I said that we've got builders in the 250, but our average median sales price I saw yesterday was $357.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, your sub 300,000 is few and far between. So you're buying a townhouse, you're buying a duplex, or
you're going further out.
or you're driving till you qualify.
That's right. That's right.
So actually, it's a great segue. Where are you seeing homes kind of go? Where are you seeing buyers go?
Well, to me, the number one thing that has always been consistent, even for me when I moved here 21 years ago, because I knew nothing about the Upstate, are the schools.
Yep.
So I think that is, and the first-time home buyers who may not have kids yet, that kind of thing, that isn't really a priority for them. We bring certain information to that type of buyer, as in, hey, if you're, a first-time home buyer, you may only be in this house for 5 years. I need to make sure that we can make you money when you sell it. So we're going to make sure that you buy well, you're in a good location, et cetera, et cetera. But I think overall, the schools kind of start, and again, we're going further out. So the school systems are getting better and better, in my opinion, across the board. That little niche of Greenville and Spartanburg County, to me, that Reedville, Woodruff area, reminds me of Five Forks 20 years ago.
Yep.
It is just on fire. And I find it so fascinating, too, that there's a nice little sliver that is Spartanburg County, but zoned for Greenville County schools, which I always find that very interesting. And a lot of the consumers don't know that either. So they'll get really stuck on saying, hey, I want to be in Greenville County because of this. Same thing in Lawrence County. Fountain Inn is another huge hotspot.
Yep.
Well, Fountain Inn, part of it that is Lawrence County, they're still going to Greenville County schools.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it just starts there, and we're just that little circle that we all used to sell in has expanded out, and what our 20-minute drive was is now hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, depending on where they want to go.
Yep. I mean, driving 2 hours, you're in Columbia.
We're selling a bunch in Columbia.
Really?
And on the outside, the west side of Columbia.
It's more
right
like
now.
Greenville side?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, very interesting.
The feeder markets I've always found interesting. So you saw Greenville explode. You saw it go to Simpsonville, and everybody thought, oh, Simpsonville is in the sticks.
Yes.
And being born and raised here, I grew up in Five Forks. Like grew up on family property. I've watched the whole thing. Like my statement I've said in numerous podcasts is, I remember there was 2 red lights on Woodruff Road. Highway 14, when it was still the Winn-Dixie, where Big Lots is going out of business. Shame. My grandmother's going to be so disappointed. My grandmother will just go walk around that store.
Yeah,
It's like the mall walkers, just grandma does it at Big
Big
Lots
Lots.
because it's 2 minutes from her house.
Right.
To the second red light was at Lawrence Road. And that was where everything was. That was where your Home Depot, your Lowe's, your Motor Mile was there, all your restaurants, everything was on Lawrence. And it just started moving out. Lawrence kind of died off. Woodruff took over, unfortunately.
I know.
And now Woodruff has everything and anything.
Well, that's so funny you say that. That's what we tell our out-of-towners. Hey, you're either going to love or hate Woodruff Road, but guess what? You will have to go there. Because there's something you're going to need on Woodruff Road.
Yep.
Yes.
And if you know the backways, I don't want to tell too many people about the backways. Because I can still make it from door to door in about 14 minutes.
Yep.
Even at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Cut
Everybody
through
says,
neighborhoods.
oh, Woodruff's terrible. I live off of Adams Mill in Five Forks, and
Yep. No problems.
I got no problems.
Yep.
I mean, I barely touch Woodruff Road.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just Christmas. Christmas is,
Well, that's why the Amazon is taking over.
Yes.
Everybody's like, oh, why does this say from China? Well, I bought it from Amazon.
Yeah, that's right. Merry Christmas.
Exactly. Be thankful.
That's right. I didn't get on Woodruff Road.
Exactly. I saved my sanity.
That's right.
But then the downfall is there are certain things that you still have to.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is with the feeder markets, you're seeing it start to grow. You're seeing Fountain Inn. You saw Fountain Inn probably 5 years ago really start to excel. Lawrence County starts to just thrive.
Yep.
I mean, developers are developing land. Builders are going. That market's huge. The corridor to Charlotte kind of was delayed.
True.
So, and now it's starting to go. And you got Gaffney. and the only thing that anybody ever used to go to Gaffney for was the Yellow Mall. That the Tanger outlet right there, that was it.
Yeah.
And you've got almost 3,200 lots being developed.
Wow.
Right around the Yellow Mall that is going to completely reinvigorate that area.
Yeah.
Gaffney, Cherokee County will see a 400+% increase on building permits going into next year.
That's just so, and you're right, how it's expanded out. And those people too, especially depending on what parts of the country you come from, where I was from, to drive an hour and a half one way to get to your job, that was the norm. I mean, and this was 20 plus years ago.
Yep.
That's where I see we're headed. I mean, just coming from Spartanburg to Greenville and Greenville to Spartanburg, okay, plan on sitting very well, 45 minutes or so on 85.
That Pelham Road.
Yeah, yes. It's like, when is this going to be fixed? But then the quality of life, though. So these people who are going further out, everything's newer, the newer shops, the newer restaurants, the newer schools. So their quality of life when they're living in their new construction home is really good. They just have to commute. And I think that's just going to be our world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you seeing buyers become more acclimated with that travel time?
100%. I remember when I moved here, my agent said, oh, you're 10 minutes from everything. And I remember I was like, well, how can that be? And really back then, I really did feel I was 10 minutes from everything because our circle was so small. I remember going to parts of Greer going, where am I going? Traveler's Rest, forget about it. You just didn't go there unless you were going hiking.
Yep.
Now everything, like that Reedville, Woodruff area, that to me is so crazy because they're so close to everything. They are. They're close to downtown Spartanburg, downtown Greenville, Five Forks. And look at back 20 years ago.
You didn't go out there.
There were cows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think is really,
I think there
really
might
cool.
still be some cows
Yeah,
out
I think there are. But,
Yeah.
but still, just the way that the growth has expanded, except for the roads, I feel like especially the smaller towns or municipalities, they've really done, in my opinion, a good job planning. I'm really excited for that Reedville Town Center.
Yep.
Everyone I've sold a house to there is thrilled about it. Same thing with Fountain Inn. Look at what Fountain Inn has done. Fantastic. Simpsonville, Malden. None of that stuff was here 20 years ago. And I love how they're all putting their own stamp on their own towns. Love that about our area.
I think Fountain Inn, the citizens of Fountain Inn and the area, they won when GP Learmore got elected.
100%.
You put a young, forward-thinking mayor in place.
Yep.
You've got Sean Bell, who is, they're two absolutely phenomenal minds.
Yep.
They saw that forethought of, all right, people are coming here. We're going to change. And I'm sure, and I know for a fact that they got pushback. We don't need this. We don't want this. But it was coming either way.
Yep.
That's just natural progression. But Sean and GP have done a remarkable job.
Agreed.
In Fountain Inn.
Agreed.
And that's a big shout out to the city of Fountain Inn.
100%. Yep.
And the HBA thanks you for continuing to grow.
Yep.
But
so do the realtors.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, give us more to sell.
I mean, that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I laugh. I say, I've got job security for the next 10 years.
Yep.
Our growth is not, like it or not, it's not stopping.
Nope.
So,
I mean, I think John Hunt at our housing market forecast in January, 33 people a week.
Insane.
I mean,
insane.
You got a 90+% occupancy rate on apartments.
Yep.
Single families staying on the market less than a month. Townhomes are moving faster than that.
Yep.
Build to rent
I know.
is absolutely thriving.
That's crazy too.
It's crazy, and I had to, full disclosure, I had to come around to it. Just because I didn't like the concept of it at first.
Right.
But then when I started meeting with some of these investment capital groups and builders and developers, they're filling a need that our market is drastically down in. So when you look at it, do I like a 200+ home community that's all rentals?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but in the restrictions, in the deeds and in the HOAs, like it's very well written. Like you have to maintain that house.
Yeah, it's not like these other neighborhoods where you've got these pop-ups where they're coming in with 4 and 5 rentals and then they're out. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And then it kind of turns into that traditional rental setup where it's
they don't take care of it.
4 cars in the driveway, 2 are on blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, am I talking about when I grew up? No, it's that traditional rental setup. And you kind of see, all right, this could be that, but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So I think that was my biggest fear of it, but I've come around to it, and I'm very impressed with it now.
Well, and I think it helps our housing crisis. I mean, people need to live in good areas, good homes, apartments, condos, whatever, but they want to feel the same security as a homeowner, and they should be able to do so. And I feel like we can accommodate everyone.
Let's get real for a second. Are you dumping money into marketing but barely seeing any results? Go Digital can help. Using their marketing matrix, they zero in on your target audience and engage them where it matters the most. Go Digital acts as your full-service marketing team, saving you the hassle and cost of building an entire in-house team or trusting random gurus you found on the internet. It is also important to note that they don't just serve home service businesses. They own one. They've been in your shoes. They know what works because they've lived it. Wondering why I know so much about them? It's because I've been a client for them over a year, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So if you're ready to start winning more leads for less, hit the link in the show notes and schedule a free 20-minute consultation today. I love that.
I love that too.
We're going to welcome you with a hug and a smile.
That's right.
And a glass of wine sometimes.
That's right. Welcome to the South.
Exactly. I love it.
Yep.
So on kind of the real estate side, from trends, I mean, you're in it every day.
Yes.
From builders looking, all right, what else do we need to build? How do we need to build it? What styles do we need to build it? What are you seeing kind of buyers are turning to, and what style are they buying right now?
Well, I think, again, getting hung up on the cookie cutter style kind of thing. I still laugh, and it's okay because I sold a bunch of these, but the brown neighborhoods. Remember when every neighborhood you went into, everything was brown? Well, now those are resales. Those are established neighborhoods that are resales. And someone will say, I don't like the brown. And I'm like, guess what? In about 10 years, you're not going to like the gray, because now we've gone all to gray homes. So again, those are all fixable things. Is it the floor plan you want? And I love telling people, you don't live outside. You live inside your home. So make sure that that's our priority. I mean, obviously,
That
we don't
sounds
want a
like a
pink
realtor
house.
right there.
Right. Well, we don't want a pink house. And I have clients who are, I really want, cement board. I don't want vinyl siding. That's different. But I think it comes down to one of two things. It's either going to be the location or it's going to be the home.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you can get both of those anymore, even in an exorbitant price point. Look at downtown. What used to be able to sell for $1 million, $1.5 million is $5.5 million now.
Yep.
Is that home really worth $5.5 million? Well, it's up to the buyer to decide.
I mean, that's the market dictating it.
That's exactly it. So,
Man, downtown. You had to bring downtown up.
I know.
Downtown, to me, is one of the most unique, mind-boggling clusters I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I'm not referring to how downtown's ran. The mayor's done a phenomenal job.
Agreed.
City planners have done a great job. Staff has done a phenomenal job.
Police department's fantastic.
Police department is incredible. Mm-hmm. Nice shout out.
Yep.
But the concept of Augusta Road, listen, I get it. It's the golden aisle of downtown. Mm-hmm. But we're in the point of we're buying 2, 3, 4 lots at $1 million+, demoing it, and building a $10 million house on it.
And they're buying. They're selling. I mean, it reminds me, so I grew up outside of DC. It reminds me of a little town outside of DC. Growing up there, it was Augusta Road, smaller homes, bungalows, that kind of stuff. My father's house was a tear down. This was 6 months ago. The lot sold for $2.1 million. The lot tore down the house, and it is now they built a house and it's $15.3 million. I know, that's what I mean, and
is it a good sized lot?
I guess. I mean, is there such a thing as a good sized lot for over $2 million? I don't know.
I mean, I'm thinking a large tract of land.
Yeah, that's what I find so interesting about the Upstate, because we are really competing with some of these larger cities. Mm-hmm. Boston, DC, Charlotte, Atlanta. That's crazy to me. 20 years ago, I'm like, it's just crazy.
It wasn't here?
No. And downtown, I remember 21 years ago, my agent taking me downtown on Main Street, and there was that, was it Woolworth, the little store?
Yeah.
And I remember her taking me and saying, oh, I'm going to show you this, but you'll never come downtown, because there wasn't anything there.
Well, you also didn't go downtown.
Well, right, unless you wanted to die. But anyway, but it was great. And I look at the growth, and not just Greenville now. Look at Spartanburg. Look at Anderson. They're putting their stamp on things too. I love this. It gives everyone an option. Everyone. And you have something to do every single weekend. That's what I tell my buyers. What do you want to do for the next 6 months every weekend? Because I could plan something for you. You have an activity with kids, with dogs, without, singles, married, you name it. We've got something for you.
There's constantly something going on.
That's right.
And if you can't find anything, your HBA of Greenville has stuff always going on.
Always.
Listen, we'll fill your social calendar even if you don't want it.
That's right. Trust me, I know. But yes, no, you're right. That's what I think makes our area so awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's plug in the HBA for a little bit since you are a board member.
I love you guys.
I know that you've been in the market, you've been involved in other organizations. Mm-hmm. What kind of is that drawing feature from a realtor standpoint for the association?
Well, again, 21 years. So I kind of got involved with you guys about 3 years ago. And one of the things that shocked me, especially because I have sold so much new construction, is what you guys do for us. And I tell this to agents all the time. I don't know if you've ever heard of the HBA of Greenville, but if you haven't, you need to join, and here's why. If we have an issue with anything, or our clients have an issue, even if it's in the time or years later, you guys are there, beck and call. Your resources have been unlimited when it comes to new construction. Subcontractors, help with builders. Sometimes, the smaller builders, kind of way back in the day, they kind of came and went. Well, once they were gone, there was no resource for us. The homeowner was just kind of left in the cold. You guys, the way you handle things for us, and I like to say, it's the customer service you give us. I feel like you guys make us feel that you work for us, which to me is amazing.
Yep.
So I'm very passionate about what the HBA does for us.
I love it.
Yep.
I'm here for it. The association's here to support.
Yep.
One big thing is we do 80 plus events, and everybody on this podcast, like Taylor, we already know that you do a lot of events, but there are 80 plus, and each event is specifically designed to meet our members where they need to be met.
Yep.
I always feel cheesy saying that, but it's true.
It is.
From social clubs to boozy bus to builder speed dating.
That to me is my favorite thing I've ever seen done in my real estate career. I think to go to one-stop shop in the convention center, have every builder or the majority of the builders that we all work with on a regular basis, to have them all lined up, available to ask any and all questions in this period of time, to me is priceless.
Yep.
Yep.
And that is what it's there for. So you got your general side, you got your new construction side, but we also do Bridge Awards. Bridge Awards highlights excellence in your craftsmanship. That's coming up. If you haven't bought your tickets are still available.
Yep.
Bridge Awards, 600 plus person, black tie, seated dinner. It's Distinguished Derby this year. We've got the $1 Million Circle that represents for general and new construction, just to highlight. And a lot of builders and employers use that as a incentive for their team. It's a great opportunity for team building. It's a great opportunity for team promotion.
Networking, though.
And networking.
I mean, the people that you will meet. And again, I go back to, you've got 600 people in one room. Not are all realtors, not are all builders. It's all of us in one room. The amount of marketing people you can meet. You name it, down to driveways. Who has a driveway person? Well, guess what? I do now because of the HBA.
Yep.
So all of the little things that go into owning a home.
Yep.
It's all there in one room.
I love it. Well, the association truly is a member resource, and that's kind of what it's designed for. So we're super excited to have you a part. We're going to probably call it, but before we do, if somebody wants to grab a glass of wine with you or use you as a realtor,
yes.
what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, you can always just Google my name. I'm the only Patti Tuffin in town, but my phone number is 864-275-6896, and my office is right off of Haywood Road. So I love to visit, come see me, but that's the best way to get a hold of me. And if anyone has any questions, just a simple question, by all means, email me, text me. I'm here to help.
I love it. That's a realtor for you folks. Just freely giving out cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
It's a good realtor when they're just willingly, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There it is. I've nothing to hide. Call me anytime.
I love it. Well, Patti, thank you for coming on the Think Big podcast.
This is great. I really appreciate you guys.
We're super excited to have you a part of the team. If you enjoyed today, be sure to listen to the next one. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Think Big podcast, and we can't wait to see you soon. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the Think Big podcast. If you can do me two big favors, if you can subscribe to the podcast to continue getting updates whenever new podcasts drop, and also if you can scroll to the bottom of the page and just give this podcast a review. We want to continue pushing it out to more people, sharing what we're talking about, and educating more people in the building industry. I would also like to say a huge thank you to two of our sponsors, All About Flooring and Go Digital. If you're interested in sponsoring the Think Big podcast for 2025, be sure to reach out to the HBA of Greenville today. Thanks.